Today, we're jumping into a collection of ancient stories that is basically an encyclopedia for an entire civilization. It's a divine library of cosmology, epic battles, and really profound philosophy. We are exploring the Puranas. So let's start with the big question right off the bat. What exactly are the Puranas? Are they myths? Are they history? A kind of religious rule book? Well, the fascinating thing is, they're pretty much all of that and a whole lot more. So here's what we've got lined up. We're going to start with a quick introduction to what the Puranas are, then dive into their incredible sagas of gods and demons. After that, we'll explore their teachings on Dharma, the right way to live, then look at the ideas of karma and hell, and finally, we'll talk about the amazing legacy these ancient texts still have today. Okay, let's dive right in with our first section, an introduction to the Puranas. Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around them is to think of them not as one single book, but more like a divine encyclopedia of stories. So the word Purana itself literally means stories of the old times. But listen, you can't just picture a single book on a shelf. This is a massive, sprawling genre of literature that covers pretty much everything you can imagine, from how the cosmos was born, to the family trees of ancient kings, to epic myths and local folk tales. They were really meant to be a complete library of an entire worldview. All right, now for the really epic stuff. We're getting into the grand scale of the Puranic stories and focusing on the main players who drive all the action, the gods and the demons. You see, at the very core of the Puranas, you've got these incredible origin stories of the gods themselves, the beings who literally create, preserve, and transform the universe. What you're looking at here, for example, is this beautiful depiction of Brahma, the creator god, from the Padma Purana. These stories tell you all about their personalities, their powers, and their unbelievable adventures. And this gets to one of the most powerful themes you'll find again and again, that epic, timeless struggle between the Devas, the gods, and the Asuras, the demons. I mean, just look at the contrast in these two images. And these weren't just simple stories of good versus evil. No way. These were complex, universe-shaking wars that could decide the fate of all existence. But you know, it's not all about these huge cosmic battles. The Puranas also bring these massive ideas down to a really human level. They actually serve as a practical guide for how to live a moral and spiritual life. Let's see how. So, everything, and I mean everything in the moral world of the Puranas is built on this one core concept, Dharma. Now, that's a huge word, but at its heart, it's about the principle of cosmic order. It's the right way of living that keeps the whole universe in balance, and it covers everything from your personal virtues to your duties to your community. And get this, the Puranas are incredibly specific about this stuff. Just take devotion, or Bhakti, for example. The Narada Purana doesn't just say, hey, be devout. It breaks it down into 3 types based entirely on your inner motivation. You've got selfless devotion, then devotion to get stuff like fame and fortune, and even this darker kind of devotion that's driven by a wish to hurt people. It's this really deep, almost psychological breakdown of what drives a person. And this guidance, it reaches into literally every part of a person's life. As you can see in these kinds of detailed illustrations, the Puranas lay out specific duties for every stage of life, whether you're a student, running a household, or you've decided to leave worldly things behind. They were truly designed to be a complete social and moral compass. Okay, so that's all great, but it leads to a pretty obvious question, right? What happens if you don't follow Dharma? And that brings us to the Puranic ideas of action, sin, and what happens in the afterlife. And that's where we run smack into the Unbreakable Law of Karma. The main idea is actually pretty simple. Every single action has a consequence. This isn't about some god deciding on punishments. The Puranas present karma as a fundamental law of the universe. It's as real and, well, as unavoidable as gravity. So for anyone whose actions go way off the path of Dharma, who commit what's known as pap, or sin, the Puranas describe a realm called Naraka. Now, this isn't exactly eternal hell. Think of it more like a temporary place of really intense suffering, where you go to pay off your karmic debts before you get another shot at life. And when I say the descriptions are vivid, I mean they are graphic. This imagery, inspired by texts like the Markandeya Purana, shows that these weren't just vague ideas. No, the texts go into detail about specific torments that are precisely tailored to the sins you committed. It's all designed to be this super powerful warning that you just can't forget. Just to give you an idea of how creative and frankly terrifying these places are, check out Azipatravana. It's known as the Forest of Sword Leaves. In this forest, the leaves on the trees are literally razor-sharp daggers that rain down on people who abandon their duties in life. It's such a stark, powerful image of cosmic justice. Okay, so we've looked at the epic battles, the deep moral philosophy, the whole law of karma thing. But that brings up a really big question. Why do these ancient texts still matter thousands of years later? In our last section, let's explore the incredible, lasting legacy of the Puranas. I think the most important takeaway here is this. The Puranas are not just a pile of dusty old myths. They are a living, breathing library of philosophy, morality, and culture that has actively shaped beliefs and traditions for thousands of years. And this timeline, it really shows you just how deep and long-lasting their influence is. They started as oral traditions, right? Then they got compiled and written down. From there, those stories went on to inspire centuries of art and architecture and all sorts of local traditions. And even today, Puranic themes are everywhere, from huge religious festivals to TV shows and blockbuster movies. And that really brings our journey through the Puranas to a close, leaving us with one last question to think about. What about us today, in our own complicated world? What message do these ancient stories of cosmic order, moral duty, and karmic justice actually hold for us?